All right, well, now even the military is spying us. The Washington Examiner blowing the lid off a Navy program that tracks everything from parking tickets to fender benders of people just like you and me. Attorney Janell Weinstein says the military is going way too far on this, but as you and I were discussing during the break, none of this really surprises me, but what are they doing here?
Well, what they're doing here is they're growing these databases. It's a government program that initially came out by the Navy to protect Navy bases against terrorism. That's how it started. Now what they're doing is they're getting more and more information, and the information is trivial. It's information like your parking tickets. If you go to a pawn shop and you sell something, if there is a police investigation that led to nothing, it's on this database.
But would this database have stopped the Washington, D.C. Naval Yard shooter, or would not? It probably wouldn't have, right? I mean, so if you make the argument, well, this, for all the intrusions, if it stops guys like that, all the better.
Well, that's what's so interesting. What is not included on this database is any background checks for gun applications, for getting a gun. That's
just
not
if you
included.
ran a red light, I guess, right?
You run a red light or you sell something at a pawn shop, they're going to have that.
And how would that, I'm trying to give the benefit of the doubt here, Janell. How would that information be useful?
Well, that's what's interesting. We are so heightened by this domestic spying and everybody's watching us. But I really think that it's going to be more of a reactive thing than a proactive thing.
Right.
And what I mean by that is the local governments, when they're using it for enforcement, they're going to be looking at it when they need it. They're not going to be watching everybody. The information's just too vast.
So let's say they keep doing this and we learn out more. You know, you and I are talking that all these agencies that keep doing this, and if anything about being chastened by investigations and publicity of this stuff, they just rev it up.
Well, that's it. They're just rev it up, and we're spending more, too. When we look at the database that they're collecting, the Navy, for this particular links system, it's very similar to what the FBI has. So why are we spending so much money? Why can't they work together? But the privacy issues is what we're all alarmed about and get creeped out about.
What's weird is the guy who might have murdered people, that wouldn't show up with this system. But if you ran a red light or double parked, maybe that would.
That's right. But it's our hope that that does happen, and that's why they're doing it. But again, it's the military, and the military are not supposed to be getting involved in domestic enforcement with the local agencies.
Well, it sounds like they are. But Janell,
well, they are. Only under limited circumstances, but that's not happening here.
That's how it starts. Janell, thank you very, very much. In the meantime,